Hey, welcome to our January recap.
Hey guys, welcome to Thinking Out Loud. We are going to talk a little bit about our recap for the month of January. There's not really a lot to recap.
No, there was only one guest.
There was only one guest this month. We had a lot of cancellations and a lot of people that were sick,
Yes.
and a lot of people that had suddenly gone on vacation. Right? So you want to do a little bit of a recap about the food shelf?
We did last Monday we were honored to be a guest on, or honored to interview the Randolph Food Show.
Right.
And if you haven't checked out our YouTube, you can go check it out right now.
Yeah, it's Thinking Out Loud. It's the same thing it is here on Facebook. It's Thinking Out Loud on YouTube, and you should be able to find it. If you can't, all of our videos are linked in our Facebook to our YouTube, so you can go and watch those on YouTube, the prior ones that we've done.
Yes.
What was your favorite thing about the food shelf video?
It was bigger than I thought.
Oh, the food shelf was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bigger building, and they accommodate. I didn't get to ask how many people they accommodate in a month, and I think that would have been a great question, and I totally spaced it.
Me too.
But they not only serve Randolph, Braintree, Brookfield, and Granville, East Granville. They also are open to anybody that needs assistance for the food shelf.
And there's no shame in it either.
No, there's no shame in it at all. You should really realize that if you need to feed your family, you'll go to all lengths. I kind of looked at it like that. I still look at it like that. There are definitely times that I utilize the food shelf. And I also, when the kids were in school, we did the SKIP program. Yeah. That was beneficial. At one point in time, I had 6 kids living with me.
Wow.
And they were all in high school, some multiple ages, some the same ages, and they ate a lot. And it wasn't easy on a disability income to get that. And because you have to incorporate all of your income in the house, even if they're not giving you the income, we never qualified for food stamps.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you get food stamps or you don't get food stamps at the food shelf. You can come irregardless.
And do you know what's right next door to the food shelf?
Community Action.
Yes.
Community Action is right near the food shelf.
And they prefer appointments.
Yes, they prefer appointments, but on an emergency basis, you can go in there and get fuel assistance. I know that you can sometimes get rental assistance.
Not all the time. You can get screened.
Right, you can get screened for the services that you can qualify for, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's a good thing too. It's right down there in that same building. What else? Oh, so I'm going to read off. I'm going to take my glasses off because I can't see this paper with them. So we mentioned that the food shelf, the Randolph area food shelf serves Randolph, Braintree, Brookfield, and East Granville, but they say all are welcome, which was what we said. Their location is 12 Prince Street, Unit 3, Randolph, Vermont. And they have a www.randolphareafoodshelf.org where you can go on and sign up for the SKIP meals. You also can go on there and apply for their Thanksgiving or Christmas baskets. This year, their Christmas basket, you didn't have to sign up for.
We should have mentioned that last week. Can you tell me more about the basket?
So usually the baskets consist of what it takes to make one holiday meal. It's usually a dessert, the meat, which was a turkey, gravy, vegetables, stuffing, a little bit of everything to kind of make that holiday meal. And you just sign up for it, or you can just say, hey, put my name on the list. In December for their holiday baskets, you didn't have to even sign up. You could just come in on your regular shopping trip and say, hey, I want the holiday basket. And you come during the specified days and get that done.
What was the Christmas basket?
The same as the Thanksgiving basket.
Turkey.
It was a turkey, yeah. So they're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 5, Tuesdays 1 to 5, and Thursdays 5 to 7. This is important. They're closed on all federal holidays, and they're also closed if school is closed.
Right.
Because this is an all volunteer place.
And no mornings.
And no mornings thus far, right? There may be in the future, right?
Right.
So it says the food shelf strives to provide quality food for our shoppers. We obtain food from various sources, such as the Vermont Food Bank, local stores, and locally grown produce donations. So the local stores that they get from are Shaw's and Cumberland Farms.
Correct.
Yeah. And then all around they do kind of, they help with getting seeds and getting things into production for local farms, and in turn the local farms give them some of the produce.
Correct.
So they help with the funding of like seeds and whatever to help the farmers, and then the farmers help the food shelf, which I thought was a great idea.
Shall we mention CSAs?
Sure, we can talk about CSAs.
Have you guys ever heard of a CSA? It's a lot of farms around Vermont give, or I'm not sure now, but I think shortly, if you want a CSA for a summer, you
will have to sign up. So it really depends on which farm offers CSAs. Some CSAs include meat and vegetables.
Yes.
Some just offer vegetables.
Right.
And the local farms, I think we should probably get some sort of list together of people that do a CSA, and then put this out on our, on the end of February recap. Because I think that would be a good thing. They're not cheap.
No.
But for the quality of food that you get and the protein that you get is pretty amazing.
Right.
So that's good. Let's see.
The last CSA we did, they basically gave Mom a giant gift card.
Oh, really?
And she had to put in that order by the night before, and we picked it up
the next day or whatever.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool too. I've always been intimidated by CSAs because they're more expensive than what I can afford. But it really is one of those things that we have to, if we want to provide good, healthy foods to our family, this is a way to do it.
Go to a local cause too. Right,
exactly. You're keeping the same in the community, which is a really good thing. Let's see, what else? Annie and Rachel were amazing.
Yes.
They were absolutely superb. It was really fun to interview them, and I would love to interview them again.
Me too. I wouldn't be surprised if I were older than them. They were super young.
Super young. I think Annie is definitely younger than you. I don't know about Rachel. She looked like she was probably younger than you, and they have some pretty good high positions, as well as doing something really good for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Oh, we're going to talk about weather?
Yeah.
Let's talk about weather. What is this crazy weather doing?
It's raining right now.
It's raining right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard of WeatheringHeights.com?
No.
That's Roger Hill, JT.
Okay. All right.
always advertise.
Okay, so this is Roger Hill. He's the weather guy for Aired Out.
Yes.
All right. So what was his website again?
Wuthering Heights.
Weatheringheights.com?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty good. So, Jay, what's the weather going to be like for the week?
Should I go to that website?
Yeah, sure. Go to his website, or you can go to just your phone's website. Phone's app. It doesn't matter.
I do phone app. It's rain right now. Snow 90% today. And it's gonna be a cold week.
It's going to be a cold week. So he could have done without the snow. I'm just going to forget he even said that.
Yeah.
And 90% at that, I'm really going to forget that. That's not even something I'm going to even talk about.
The pick of the week is Thursday.
Thursday? What do we got for Thursday? 36 degrees.
Yeah.
And 18 as the low. But it looks all clear except for today.
Yes.
Right?
How were the roads today?
The roads were good today. They were a little wet, but they were good today.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've got to tell you about my saga. I this is a recap. We're just going to recap my life in the last week, okay?
I love it.
So my last week consisted of taking the baby kitten, Espen, to the emergency vet 2 days in a row.
Wow.
Because she wouldn't eat, she wasn't going to the bathroom, and she wasn't purring.
Oh.
She was not acting herself, so we decided to take her. And the first day we got down there, I didn't end up getting there until like 9 o'clock at night. And I was there until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And they said, it's pretty hard to tell what's bothering kittens this age. 75% of all cats that don't eat or go to the bathroom, you never know why they start eating again.
Right.
So they're like, okay, we're going to give her a bolus of fluid underneath the skin, and we're going to give her an anti-nausea meds. Well, I had to wait several hours for that to happen because there were a couple emergencies ahead of me. And let me tell you, that's not a great place to be if you really love animals. It's a somber place when you know somebody's bringing in their beloved pet and they have to put it down in that instant. It's a really somber place. And let me tell you, my kitten was very somber. She laid in her crate with the crate open and just kind of kept looking at me. Just as if somebody was going to take her and do something bad to her. So,
do you want to show her?
I will try to get her to come in here. So we took her home and she licked a piece of chicken. And that was about all she did. And then she was getting more lethargic by the day. So I decided to take her again that other night. I got there a little bit earlier that day. And they said, really don't know, but we better take a x-ray. X-rays aren't cheap, Jay.
Wow.
Like $700, not cheap.
Wow. Even.
Yeah. And you know what that x-ray showed?
Well,
it showed that either she was going to have diarrhea soon or she had gas.
That what happened to our dog before. I think we thought he had a hernia or something. He
just had gas.
I think they had to cut down the side of him and everything.
Oh, goodness.
To find out it was just a big old fart bubble.
Oh, jeez, that's not funny, but it's funny. So anyways, we get her looked at, right? And they said, oh, she's kind of snarky. She's kind of a twerp. And I was like, yeah, she is kind of a twerp sometimes. So she's a good twerp. And anyways, they end up deciding, well, they're not going to do blood work because nothing looked worrisome on the x-ray. So they're just going to do another bolus of fluids and another anti-nausea med and send her home. Okay, so we got home. Well, we get home and miraculously she eats.
Right.
Right? And then the next morning, miraculously she eats again. And then within 2 hours, she's fine. She's running around the house.
And $700, $500.
Almost $900 between the 2 days. Later, we have a healthy kitten, but I was really scared, you know?
Yeah, I remember between my this is off topic. I was just thinking of X-rays.
Oh yeah.
I used to go to the orthopedic every 6 months.
Yeah.
And stuff. I already had my first one is the best I ever had. And then I have one at one more at Dartmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just decided to go to Gifford.
Uh-huh.
And my first one I had, he was amazing. And the second one, I'm not sure. She wasn't bad, but I hate to say I got a little nutty vibe from her.
That's not good. Not on an orthopedist. You don't want a nutty one.
No, and for example, I learned from the first time, with you never go to my tip is if you're going to a new doctor and they want x-rays, don't do x-rays before you go to the new doctor.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're x-raying. And I tell the x-ray tech what I normally get, and they have to follow the orders
of what the orthopedist said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No.
Yeah. Doctors are human and we have to remember that too, but sometimes they don't do the things that we request, even though we're the patient and we know best, right?
Right.
We know what's kind of going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already had the best of the best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, she moved to Seattle, Washington.
Oh, no. So you're not going to make any trips out there anytime soon, huh?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
And I haven't
found one that's decent since.
Why mess with the rest when they know who is the best?
There you go. I like that quote. That's kind of a nice one. So, Jay, you want to know something else?
What?
My son's coming home in a few days.
Congratulations.
He's coming home. He is coming home. I really hope he doesn't watch the podcast because I'm going to embarrass him a little bit.
What is it?
Because one of my twins that has been away for about 8 months in North Carolina, trying to make it on his own and do things, is coming home. And I'm so happy. I'm so proud of him for doing it as long as he could do it, and has hopes of going back out there when he's a little more stable. Right. But he's been waiting on his car to get fixed, the power steering pump. And they've kind of dragged him around a little bit, trying to figure things out. But so he calls me. He goes, "Good news, Mom. The car is going to be fixed on the 30th." And he goes, "Either the 31st or the 32nd, I'll be home." Huh? And I said, Amir, there's no 32nd.
January 32nd.
There's January 31st and February 1st.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, whatever," he says. I said, "Well, that's good. And then he'll be home this week. That'll be great." So he hung up the phone, and then he calls me back probably 5 or 6 hours later. And he's like, "Good news, the car is definitely getting fixed." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, I just wanted to know what the numbers are for the warranty and stuff. And I said, okay. And he goes, and remember, I'm going to be there the 31st or the 32nd. And I was like, I was like, Amir, are you not getting this? It's the 31st and the 1st. He goes, whatever.
Here you go.
So I had to giggle a little bit just because, you know, even though they're older and wiser sometimes, they still are lacking in some basic calendar education.
I remember, like, Mom, like, one time, a couple years ago, like, had a book of forever stamps.
Oh, yeah.
And I say, how do you know they haven't expired?
Uh-huh.
Because the price of
stamps has gone up.
Yeah.
Right?
How doesn't forever stamps not expire?
Right.
I remember Mom used to give me a
Gave you a problem with it?
Gave me a hard time with it.
Gave you a hard time with it? So that's actually a good question, because forever stamps, you would think would, even though they're forever, you might have to pay the difference in the cost of the going, but they don't. They lose money sometimes on the people that have, I know that stamps went up not that long ago.
How much are they now?
I have no idea, because I just buy them and I don't even pay any attention, but I know that they went up a little while ago, because Bruce at the post office was saying, get them today because tomorrow they could go up so many cents. Jay, I'm embarrassed to say, but I can remember when a stamp was a quarter.
I remember when the stamp was like 32, 31 cents.
Yeah, so not far off from where I remember. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Gallon of milk.
How much?
Greeting card.
How much is a gallon of milk these days?
$4 or $5.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes more, depending on if you get it at the gas station or not. $6.
And forget about farm fresh milk.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, we can wrap up this week's podcast for Thinking Out Loud, but we want to encourage you guys to check out the food shelf if you need to check out the food shelf. Mm-hmm. If you know somebody that needs a ride to the food shelf, give them a ride to the food shelf. Mm-hmm. And they are working on transit for people to get to the food shelf. They have 2 stops now from it's not Stagecoach, it's
Tri-Valley Transit.
Tri-Valley Transit has 2 times that they go to the food shelf to pick up or drop off. I should
have checked with them what the times that were.
Well, they're later in the afternoon. They're at 5 and something else. Right. But they are doing it those different times. And we want to end this podcast on somewhat of a serious note. I want to make sure that people are watching our podcast, because we have a really nice, one second. I forgot to bring it to my desk. Oh, and I'm going to talk about this too before we end. Sorry about that. Wasn't quite prepared. So the food chef gave us these cards, and I did put it up on our page, but this is the Vermont Food Bank. And what they do, you can do different things on their website. So their website is vtfoodbank.org/Vermont Fresh. And I'll put it up on the website again with this podcast. But these are nice to have. It says, are you looking for simple and delicious recipes for cooking with fresh fruits and vegetables and the chance to win a $100 gift card? This Vermont Food Bank program offers tips and tools needed to whip up delicious, nutritious dishes that you and your family will love. So they have an incentive for their program. But we also said that if anybody Venmo'd or Cash App'd me money to give to the food shelf, then they would receive a prize. This is the prize that you will receive. It's Eat Well on $4 a Day, Good and Cheap by Leanne Brown. And it's an entire cookbook.
Yeah, limited quantity.
We're only going to give one away.
One away.
Yeah, to the person that gives the most for the food shelf.
And what's the Venmo?
I'll put it in my thing because it's a little bit of a long thing, but my Venmo and my Cash App I'll put up there. And then we'll do that. We are also going to pick our logo this afternoon, and we'll put that up too, and we'll be getting some t-shirts made, and then I can finally get my our business cards made. So the food shelf was nice enough to let us do that, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to end this podcast for now, and we will see you in another week.
All right.
Thank you.